Welcome to tonight's council meeting for the City of Covington, February 7th, 2023. If you can silence your phones or turn them off, would be appreciated. Roll call, please.
Councilman Lewis.
Here.
Councilman Botsford.
Here.
Councilman Roberts.
Here.
Councilwoman Ludwig.
Here.
Councilman Barrett.
Here.
Councilman Smith.
Here.
Councilman Rowling.
Yes, here. Okay, if everybody would stand for a moment of silence, and if you would, remember the earthquake victims in Turkey and Syria. Would Councilwoman Martha Casabon lead us in the pledge? Thank you. We have no appearers tonight, and we're going to go right into the consent calendar. Regular meeting minutes, January 10th, 2023. Introduction of item number 2023-0201, an ordinance of the City of Covington authorizing the recurring of debt assurance of general obligation bonds, Series 2023, of City of Covington, State of Louisiana, and providing the other matters in connection therewith. Also, introduction item number 2023-0202, an ordinance of the City of Covington declaring surplus certain vehicles and equipment owned by the City of Covington. I need a motion to accept the consent calendar, please.
Motion to accept.
I need a second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Botsford.
Yes.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ludwig.
Yes.
Councilman Barrett.
Yes.
Councilman Smith. Yes. Councilman Rowling.
Yes.
Councilman Lewis.
Okay, we're going to go right into the regular agenda tonight. Public hearing action, item number 2023-0101, an ordinance of the City of Covington to amend the 2023 capital and operating budget. Councilman Smith.
Thank you. The mayor came to us, if you'll recall, and said that we need to consider moving some money within the budget. And those budget items, I'm sure you all have had a chance to review them. We're looking at a couple of biggies like Yankee Avenue overlay. The bids came in, and what we had set aside and budgeted for that project was short. So we've determined about $150,000 would need to be moved to cover the next round of bids that come in for that project. Same with Michelle Drive over in River Forest. As the mayor has repeatedly said, that's some of the worst engineering, okay? And back when that development took place, and it's just an issue, and every time we try and do something, we find new problems. We've got the money available through grants and what have you to move some money out of the budget, and that's what you're looking at when you see $350,000. And what we're also basically doing is just moving a little over $500,000 out of the general fund. But as you recall, that's somewhat the strategy that we've used in this budget. We weren't going to sit there and stick them in a peg and say this money's here and here, because we really don't know what's coming down the road until you start trying to repair things and fix things, and boom, the money's available. Bottom line is we've got some good things going on as far as grant revenues to offset some of the expenses. Downtown overlay, which is getting ready to take place, that's $360,000 that we were fortunate enough to receive. So that's not part of this $528,000 that's being moved. But the $28,000 for cameras, how often have we discussed having video cameras at the parks and whatnot? It's $28,800 expense. Everything that we see here makes a lot of sense, and I think it's justifiable to say that it's a good investment with the city's funds to improve these projects, and move forward. That's basically all I have to say on it.
Okay, before we go into council comments, anything for administration on this you'd like to add before?
I would just like to touch on the drug forfeiture fund, which is at the bottom of the list.
Yes.
So those are funds that we've collected over time, and they've been sitting in their own account. It's about $41,000. And so what happens when the police department does a seizure and there's cash involved, per state law, it has to go to the DA's office. And then a portion stays with the DA's office and a portion comes back to us based on a formula. And then we have to handle those funds in a very specific manner. So it has to be in its own account, and it can only be utilized for criminal investigations, like narcotics investigations. So we have had this funding, it accrued over a couple of years or so, some interest came in. Chief Farrell acknowledged that we had these funds. He came to Nina, the Director of Finance, and to me and said, how do we start using them? So we did some research. We learned about these. I'm admitting that we weren't exactly sure how to do it, but this was a learning curve for us. This right here is allowing us to put the expenditure or the appropriation of those funds in our budget. When you budget money coming in and going out, you got to show the revenue and you have to show the expenditure. So we have the revenue already on the books, on the budget. We need to show the expenditure now. So this will allow the police department to go ahead and start utilizing these funds for investigations. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron.
Okay, at this time, we're going to go ahead and open up for any public comments. Anyone from the public would like to have any remarks? Seeing none, okay. We're going to go right into council comments. And Councilman Verrett?
Yeah, I just wanted to give credit where credit's due. I like the way we're doing the operating budget, where we're looking at it throughout the year rather than towards the end of the year and looking, because we kind of fall behind. It's the speed of government, as the mayor likes to say. So I really do appreciate the administration bringing things to the council so that we can amend it during the course of the year rather than wait till the end of the year. And this is a prime example. We're in February. So kudos.
Thank you,
have-
sir.
I just
I'm
have a
sure-
question. The 28,000 seems low just because everything's so expensive these days. Is the Project NOLA like in the form of a grant, or is that just?
No, so those are city funds. That's coming out of the general fund. That is, each camera cost of, what was it, $3,800 or something like that? Anyway, so it's going to cover the cost of the camera as well as we have to put in a pole, we got to have service that goes to it. But anyway, it includes all of the costs associated.
Oh yeah, no,
with
I
those
think
up.
that's a fair price. But no, just the word Project NOLA, I guess, made me curious if it was like some sort of other.
No, it's an existing program.
Program,
That's just
okay.
the title.
Thank you. Councilman Boxford.
Yeah, I guess this is just a double or triple check. The Jakey Avenue, obviously, I've ridden down it a few times, and it is, long overdue that it does need some attention. My question is, when's the last time it was smoke tested? So, as Mayor Marcus said quite a few times, our repairs downtown, doesn't make sense to do any repairs or overlays if we haven't fixed the stuff below it. I just want to know if.
This fall, before we put it out for bid. This fall,
Okay,
this
so that
past
ain't-
fall.
Yes.
Before we put it out for bid, we smoke tested it again to make sure that we had our point repairs done.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so we were on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else from the council? All right. Do I hear any objection to close the public hearing? Okay, I need a motion to close the public hearing, please.
Motion to close?
I need a second.
Second.
Motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
I need a second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Roberts?
Yes.
Councilwoman Ludwig?
Yes.
Councilman Verret?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilman Rowling?
Yes,
Councilman Lewis? Councilman Botsford?
Yes.
thank you. Under new business, resolution number 2023-03, a resolution of the Covington City Council advertising for bids for the purchase of general obligation bonds, Series 2023 of the City of Covington, State of Louisiana, and providing for other matters in connection therewith. Councilman Smith.
Yes, thank you. As you'll recall, it was that bond issue that was approved by the voters back in December of 2022. Bonds up to $4.75 million. These bonds ultimately will give the city the ability to spend as needed for purposes of making capital improvements in the city, some of which, there are many, but I'm going to talk about some roads, street, bridges, drainage, sewer collection and treatment, et cetera. And it's not limited to just that, but it will give us the ability to move forward with capital improvements. The voters agreed with it. What this is doing is we're going to be advertising the fact that we're looking for bids for these bonds. And it's going to give people that are in that lending business the opportunity to lend the money to us. So we're going to receive bids. And obviously, we've got some perimeters to play within. They can't be over 6% interest, that sort of thing. But anyhow, this particular resolution is just allowing us to go ahead and advertise for people to bid on these bond issues. It's pretty simple.
That's it. You're right. Thank you. Okay. Anyone from the public that would like to have any remarks based on this resolution? Okay. Seeing none, hearing none. Anything from the council additionally? Okay. I think we all understand.
I would like to ask if Erin has anything to
Yep.
add, or Mr. Hardy Andrews, if you would like to say a few things. Nina? I pretty much passed the test on that?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. With no more council comments, let the bids begin, right? I need a motion to accept, please.
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Ludwig.
Yes.
Councilman Verret. Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Rowling.
Yes.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes.
Councilman Botsford.
Yes.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on, resolution number 2023-04, a resolution of the Covington City Council authorizing the mayor to enter into a lease agreement with Marceline Feed and Seed Store Incorporated for public parking. Councilman Boxford, you want to explain this a little bit?
Yes. Unfortunately, was it 2 years ago, Harvey Marcelon, a big member of our community, the feed store burned down. He's got parking around that the city uses for all the events that are at the trailhead. This particular piece is at Gibson in Vermont. What we're basically saying is that we're going to maintain it, rock it, so our citizens can come there and park when they come to visit or go to the trailhead or downtown to go out to eat. That way, it kind of takes the burden off of Mr. Marcelon, and it's a win-win for us as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Anyone from the public? Any remarks? All right. Council comments. Any other comments from the council?
Parking's always a good investment. Parking kind of makes things work. So added parking in the heart of downtown Covington, if we can
Right.
get it, let's get it. That's how I feel about it. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Okay. So I just need a motion to accept, please.
Motion to accept.
I need a second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Verret. Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Rowling.
Yes.
Councilman Lewis. Councilman Botsford.
Yes.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ludwig.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on to items for discussion. We would like to introduce Ms. Casabon, but I know Councilman Boxford will go ahead and do that introduction.
Okay, I'd like to this time introduce Ms. Martha Casabon, District 3 Parish Council. She's going to come up tonight and kind of clue everybody into what some of the discussions that myself, Councilman Smith, and Councilwoman Ludwig have, gotten together with the surrounding districts and with Ms. Martha and everybody. So she's going to enlighten us as to about District 10 and what we're hoping to accomplish here.
But before we get started, if you don't mind, just for the record, your name and address for the record. Thank you.
know the drill. My name is Martha Casaban. I am the councilwoman for District 3, which incorporates probably all the way to 1078, part of Covington, over all the way to Folsom to the, I have the honor of having two different parishes, Washington Parish and Tangipahoa Parish, as my boundaries. Also, I have the distinction of serving on Recreation District 10, not once, but twice. And whatever history you want to know about it, I can fill you in. Now, as a council person, I realize that we have to do something. What happened with Recreation District 10, 2 millages were proposed at different times, and both of those millages failed. The idea in the past was that we would use Covington's recreation fields and so on and add to that. We actually, years ago, a little of the history, we did have 25 acres donated to us, which is now Simpson Farms, because we were not able to pass those millages and be able to build. That was going to be our main area. And so we had to turn it back over. The contract was, or the deal was, that we would develop it within 5 years. So that's a little of the history and the struggle that Recreation District 10 has encompassed. So when I became councilwoman, I feel like this is, if we don't do anything in this parish, we owe it to our children that we have in our constituents, the areas that their children can participate in organized recreation. So that was where my idea came in. And after talking to the director, Richard Bentley Smith, and I proposed it to them first, the Recreation District 14, that we would incorporate some of my subdivisions that they do not have recreation offered in any way, shape, or form, to move them into that district. Then I realized it got complicated when I met with people, and they said, oh, the record districts were designed with their, the old ward lines, which is basically the different school districts. So in other words, people are playing in not their school district that they go to school in, but they want to play with their school children, you know, with the kids they go to school with. With Recreation District 10, that when the first millage failed, we realized that, I still call it Harrison Dog Pound, that area the children wanted to play. They had already started playing in Pelican Park. So at one point, the lines were redrawn, and those children go to Pelican Park. I think we removed a few more on the second one, but what I'm saying is changing the lines did not help us pass the millage and stuff. Right now, after looking at the map, and we met the rec directors from Coquille, Folsom's Rec District, Lee Road's Rec District, and Abita's Rec District. And the directors there had pinpointed the areas that children were coming out of was in actually Recreation District 10. So at the meeting, we talked about pulling those and redrawing those lines to allow those children, you know, to play where they're playing now, which the discussion then became evident that because of the growth that we have in the subdivisions and the different subdivisions that we have going in, that the chairperson of the rec district and several of your councilmen have indicated that they wish to try to revitalize a new board, for us to start a new board, choosing, I think it is 2 from the city or 1 from the city, and parish and so on, but to resurrect Recreation District 10 and see if it's possible to pass another millage, okay? With that understanding, I just want y'all to understand where we are and that Covington is very important. This will not work because right now Coquille doesn't have enough of the fields. We would have to use Covington's fields and so forth, what you have now available to be able to do this. And how do I say this? I really, in my opinion, I don't feel a millage is the right way to go, or to restart. I want Rec 10 to restart, but after, like I said, the years of being on it, and most of the kids in Penn Mill and some of these other subdivisions are already playing at Coquille, that I think it would take so long to get the millage going, the rec department up, to try to pass another millage, that, we're probably looking at 2 years. And I think in their mind that they're already playing at Pelican Point, are they going to want to play at a place that's going, we're not established yet. You still have, you have a few fields, and would it be big enough? These are just some things I'm throwing out that you make that decision whether you want me to reinstate the Rec 10 board and work on passing another millage. But in the meantime, where are these kids going to play and that sort of thing. Yes, John?
And also, I think it was really important, and I might be mistaken, but I thought that in talking to like Coquille and Pelican, they're busting at the seams right now. And their rates are going for out-of-district players are starting to climb somewhat higher, that a lot of parents aren't able to afford to send their children out of district anymore. So I think that's...
Well, that's the point of, okay, when we were talking about this, they would have to, the millage, one of the questions was that we would not disturb the millages that are passed. Lee Road, Folsom, Coquille, their millages are in, I think, out of 8 years, they're in their 7th year. And these people that are out of district right now would have to still vote on a millage, because I hate to say it, it's no play, they're playing without paying, okay? And if you move these in, then they would have the same opportunity to vote on a millage. You're still going to end up doing a millage. It's just the fact that I think I know what we went through both times. I guess is it trying to say what right now Recreation District 10 has to offer is very little. And I don't think they're going to want to wait and go, well, I would rather, go ahead and while their kids are playing. I guess is what I'm saying is that they will pay that out of pocket fee to be able to play right now, because as the children, are growing up. But this is my opinion. Whatever is y'all's, as the parish person, I will do whatever you want me to do. I just want everybody here to understand that it's going to be an uphill battle. And because I mentioned it to somebody and they went berserk on, no more taxes, how we're getting this from the parish. No more taxes, no more taxes. But I think the people, if we did, when I say that, and they still have to do a millage, the fact is that they see what they're getting for their money. They're already, in other words, it's cheaper. I'd rather play, and it would be cheaper for me to pay the millage than to pay for each child out of district fee. So that it's like you have to figure out which way you want to go. Yes.
If I may.
Rick.
Going back 9 years ago when we last redesigned the boundary lines, it definitely improved things, because the millages that went to the voters, one passed and one failed by 35 votes, I believe. So it was really close. The dynamics of the city today and the surrounding area that is within the Rec District 10 boundaries, those dynamics have changed also since whatever the year that was, 9, 10 years ago. And I get your point about people saying, well, Rec 10's, if it passes, it's not going to be able to offer the things that a Pelican Park offers or Coke Keel offers at this point, okay? But that doesn't force a kid to play in Rec District 10. If his mom's got the ability to put him in a car and drive to Coke Keel and pay the out-of-district fees, Rec 10's not going to hold that against them. That's their option. The problem they're going to run into eventually is that those rec districts are running out of room, and they popping at the seams, and they're going to say, you know, we'd like to have you, but it's going to be $500 to come play out of district. Or if it's not going to go up that high, they're just going to say, we're cutting it off. If you're not within the district, I'm sorry, you're going to have to go
No,
play somewhere
if
else.
you've got Rec 10 established and a millage, and you start building, no, they would need to play in Rec 10. I don't think we
Right.
would have the crossover. I'm just saying, if it doesn't pass,
And
and
if
we
I could
don't.
finish,
Yeah.
the other option you are picking up is, well, Rec 14, Coquille, could expand and use the facilities in Covington, and Covington's Rec 10 footprint would become part of 14, okay? Then again, the same families that were discussing saying, we don't want to pay a millage because there's nothing here yet for Rec 10. It's not on the same level as the Coke. They're going to be playing with the same facilities, whether it's Rec 10 or an expanded 14. And they're going to be paying the same millages. Most importantly, in this city of Covington, that we need to be concerned about are the inner city kids, the little kids that like playing ball. Okay? Not all of them have the ability to go to a Coke Keel. We need to press forward with Rec 10, give it new life, try and put together a board that's willing to roll up their sleeves and do the right thing, okay? And I guarantee it'll pass this go-around. You put that, Rick Smith guarantees Rec 10 will pass, okay?
I think-
That's my gut feeling, but I firmly believe that. And
Thank
I
you.
think that's the best thing that we could hope forward to, and work with the parish to go ahead and say, hey, man, if we got to carve out some of the boundary lines again and make a few slight adjustments to those people that are on the fringes, okay, that are going to a beta and playing ball, but they're on the fringe of Rec 10's boundary line. Carve them out if you feel like that's the best thing to do. But the dynamics of Covington today and the surrounding area, we've got more and more little young families with kids than we've ever had, okay? I firmly believe the right thing to do is to get Rec 10 up and running. Granted, it's not going to be on the same tier as Coquille and Pelican Park yet.
Right,
okay?
and you made a
Yet.
good point, though, Rick. This is, a lot of this is about our inner city children having access to this as well.
But
And
you
we-
also have you have, for the River Heights, you have about 5 subdivisions right now.
Oh, at least,
That
yeah.
they don't have.
And more on the way.
Yeah, we have about 5
Yeah,
subdivisions.
they're more on the
So-
way, so what I'm just saying, though, too, is
It's not
that-
just the city of Covington.
Right.
And that's the whole thing. But the city of Covington is probably going to have to foot part of the bill, because doing the millage, this is what we ran into on the board. The parish was able to help us some, but we had to go to the city to be able to afford the, what they cost for the election, you know, how that you have to pay for the
Well,
election.
if
and
it's
it was-
legal, we can do it, I'm
and,
sure we can do
and
it,
that
because
sort of
right now
thing.
we're footing all the bill for Covington Recreation.
Right, that's what I was going to say,
Okay?
that we are.
We don't get any millages.
We currently do have to pay for our recreation department. And I also want to point out, as Rick said, it's been 8 years, so the dynamics of Covington have changed significantly. As well as, I think, no one has mentioned yet, that all the other rec departments were incredibly supportive of this. So I feel like that's important for everyone else who wasn't at the meeting. Folsom, Abita, they were all like, oh my goodness, we would love, because right now, the Covington Rec Department, it's not a millage. So of course it's not as great. How could it be? However, they're like, it would be beneficial to all of us, not just because they're busting at the seams, but because they would like to play quality,
course.
programs and have quality places to go. And unfortunately, because we try to run it out of our city budget, and that's just not feasible anymore, so they were all very supportive, and I feel like that's important for everyone to know. And yeah, just like Rick said, I mean, just because it would take 2 years, it's definitely a long time, and the parents right now who have a fourth grader, but if you got to think big picture, like take a step back and think,
On that.
for all the kids, for the future, I think, yeah, I mean, we were in that meeting and we're like, put it back, let's do it.
And we do have facilities already to start off with, so we're not really starting from scratch. We do
Correct.
have some.
Yes, you do.
infrastructure here,
You do.
so.
I also think the most important thing nobody's mentioned yet is our constituents. When I talk to everybody in my community, they want this. And I think we've talked about it now for 4 years. We kind of need to act on it.
Then this is what's going to happen, is that we're going to have to come up with creative ways to get to the subdivisions, not just your constituents, because this is what I'm telling you. You have about 5 more subdivisions that's within this millage. It's not just the city of Covington. I guess that's what I'm trying to get across to you. It's going to take a lot of knocking on doors, explaining it, money for flyers. It's going to take some money. So that's why I wanted to know that everybody's on board. The city of Covington is on board with this, and that we can reinstate it, but it's going to take a lot of education. And because, like I said, I worked very hard on the last 2. And yeah, we had a lot of people then and stuff, but there was a lot of people that did not want any more taxes. And coming from the parish, as you know, how many we've had set forward, you got to be very specific that this is for the children and what we're doing. And some of the board members, the old board members, I mean, we even had the designs for the gym. I mean, we presented everything that we could think of. So I'm just telling you that and like I said, that's what I want to hear, I guess, a resolution from the city of Covington that you wish to have Recreation 10 reinstated, that we will begin and go forward from there. So that's what I'm here for.
Where can we get an updated map with those lines drawn?
We haven't got it totally done. What I did was take the map, and the Folsom director, she drew in the places, and if you know where probably Ramsey Grocery is, right before that, some people are coming, and then Abita, it's like kids that go to Abita school, and it was in that, a little bit of that area. The biggest one is Palm Plaza, right outside of Covington. It comes all the way, Rec 10 goes really all the way to Morris, and you have all those rural people in there. Those are the main ones that I would want to move out into the Lee Road district, because a lot of the coaches and people are coming from there. But it's a very large district, and I think before, like you said, it was more, but believe it or not, it was mainly more of the city of Covington people that voted against it.
Oh, it was
Totally.
a lot in your district.
Yeah.
I was-
And that's what, and I know things have changed and everything, but it was, if we'd had those 35 votes, like you
That's
said,
right.
or whatever, in those districts. So I just want to make sure that we're all on, why are we doing this? We want this, and, you could do a resolution.
And
And then,
I can't let you get out of here without thanking you for all the hard work. We've been discussing
This
this
is-
for a
well,
year
like I
now,
said,
and-
I was
and
on
I know
it
you
for
spent a
2
lot of
years.
time on it, and I appreciate all your efforts. And I think between the parish and the city of Covington, co-effort together, we
Mm-hmm.
can promote this and sell it and really make it work.
Okay.
And I appreciate you.
on
Thank
that.
you.
Did we figure out how many we have? 2 from the city?
2 from the city, 4 from the parish, and 1 from the parish president.
1 from the parish
So
president.
we would do
Okay.
2, parish would do 4, and parish president does 1. So 7.
I thought there was 7
Okay.
on it.
I mean,
Okay.
7.
Yeah,
It's 5 of it, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you'll give me the people that you wish on it.
Hey, it's got a hot one already, I know.
Mayor, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to echo and also say that on behalf of the administration, you will have the full support of the city of Covington on this. And I want to thank the Recreation Committee for meeting with you and spearheading this. This has been a long time coming. The demographics, as y'all have pointed out, have changed dramatically in the last 8 years. I agree with Councilman Smith. I feel very confident that we can get this passed. As far as being able to campaign on behalf of the millage, I believe that taxpayer, our dollars can be used to inform the citizens of an election, not to necessarily take a position,
Yeah.
but we will be involved in getting this.
Education,
The city of
is
Covington
it.
needs this, as do the residents outside the
Side.
city boundaries, which is your point, and that's what we're going to do.
okay. That's what I wanted to hear, and thank y'all very much for your time.
Yes, thank you for coming.
We thank you for being here, truly. And again, I want to thank the Recreation Committee, which is chaired by Councilman Boxford, and Councilman Roberts is on that committee, and Councilman Smith. So we thank them very much, and they're going to work hard on this, and I know that. Okay, so we're going to go right into comments and reports. District A, Councilman Lewis.
All right. I just have a few today. I want to send some special thanks out to a few people from our MLK program we had a couple weeks ago. Our donors, of course, Aetna Health, Starlight Baptist Church, Community Church, Stark Corporation, and Aquista Pace. Oh, and of course, 105 Restaurant. They were a great help this year. As usual, they always come through. And to our State Deputy Director of Education, Ms. Tatiana Bigault, she always sent us good resources and referrals. She was able to get us some entertainment this year for the youth. Mr. DeJuan Phillips, he runs a program called Pep Rally with a Purpose for the youth. And we had a singer come in from Los Angeles that performed. Actually two, a guy and a girl, done pretty good. So I want to send a thank you out to those. And we had our very own Mr. Mark Verrett. That was a great speaker at the event, and Ms. Kim Bigler from James Samaritan Center. So we had a great event this year. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Moving on to District B, Councilman Boxford.
All right, I just want to give an update for the food bank. The January stats were 52 daily households, 61 daily boxes. January average households were 97, average daily boxes 114. So lots of people being fed there. Don't forget about their 21st annual golf tournament, which will be held May 9th at Beau Chene. It's the biggest annual fundraiser. There'll be breakfast, lunch, dinner, and drinks and snacks along for the course. Go to northshorefoodbank.org/golf tournament. Then they have Health Clubs Feed the Hungry. One of their board members, Jose Valle, is challenging local gyms, CrossFits, et cetera, to join in on food drives for the month of February with a goal of 10,000 pounds. Any gym that would like to participate, contact Sarah Herndon and at S. Herndon, that's HERNDON, at northshorefoodbank.org. And of course, February's most needed items: dry beans, tuna, fruit juice, spinach, carrots, and low-sodium soup. Also, I just want to remind everybody that Wednesdays is the farmers market at the Trailhead, and on Saturdays. Please shop local. Thank you.
Thank you for mentioning about the farmer's market. Appreciate it. District C, Councilman Roberts.
For the record, my gym does give to the food bank. I'm going to say this lady's name, and I just want to start with this. Miss Janet Hopkins, one of our originally Barclay Park residents, first phase, passed away January 28th. And I felt like I shouldn't come to this meeting without actually acknowledging Miss Janet. I know you probably don't know her name, but it reminds me of this quote, to the world you may be one person, but to that one person you may be the world. And I really do feel like she was that person for many Barclay Park residents. So condolences to the family of Miss Janet Hopkins. I'm happy to see work on Lurleen. Atmos is out there working on gas lines, so hopefully we get some more progress happen sooner than later, but it's happening, so I'm happy to see that. And then it's Mardi Gras time. So happy Mardi Gras to everyone. Y'all be safe, drink responsibly, have a good time. Laissez les bon temps roulés. I think that's the extent of my French, and we're good. So thank you all very much.
I love it. Okay, and you know Miss Janet, she was one of the sweetest ladies. I'm telling you, I would go and talk to her, and she would talk about the saints and all that stuff. Sweet, sweet, sweet lady, and we will miss her for sure. Moving on to District D, Councilwoman Ludwig.
All right. Well, I missed last month because I was out of town for work, so Happy New Year. A little late. Hospital updates, Kelly Rabelais sent us a couple things that were kind of outdated, but the one I wanted to mention was the St. Tammany Cancer Center hosts free monthly classes on a variety of topics, from meditation to music therapy for diagnosed cancer patients. So you can find the latest calendar of events and class descriptions on their website. They prefer you to register for classes. Also, thank you to the parish. I don't know if anyone, I know Les works closely with Mike, but they received federal funding from the American Rescue Act and provided for several local nonprofits, but most excited for myself and anyone who, Rick and Peter, who advocates for, obviously everyone, for the Boys and Girls Club of Covington, will be receiving 2 grants totaling $290,000 for us and the Slidell clubs. So that's a lot of money in general, but especially to our little Covington club, that's huge. So thrilled about that, beyond words. Lastly, Covington St. Patrick's Day is coming up. I'm sure the mayor will talk about the actual concert that the city puts on, wildly popular last year, the day before St. Patrick's Day, right? Oh, did you not have it in your notes? But no, our march is going to be Saturday, March 11th. The parade and celebration starts at the tap room, goes throughout downtown Covington, ends at Jewel Cigar for a block party until 4 o'clock. I think it's going to be, size-wise of participants, our biggest one ever. A lot of marching groups. We saw how successful the parade in Covington was, and so we got some of those guys in addition to all of our normal people. So yeah, it's going to be great. Come out, 12 o'clock, March 11th, and wear your green. Right after Mardi Gras, obviously.
Yes, indeed.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to District E, Councilman Barrett.
All right, I wanted to echo the comments of Councilman Lewis. I was able to participate in the MLK celebration. I thought it was well presented, and you could tell the amount of effort and work that went into it. And so kudos to all of those involved. Echoing Councilman Roberts, Mardi Gras season's upon us. We're going to have a big weekend. Everyone have a good time, but be safe. And other than that, I'd just like to say that, it's an enjoyment working with each and every one of you, and including administration. And I think if we look at the budget, we've really been able to accomplish a lot over these past few years, and I'm looking forward to continuing that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to at-large, Councilman Smith.
Short, because it's redundant, but same as last meeting. Our Public Works Department, thumbs up, dude. Y'all have helped me 3 times in the last 2-3 weeks with residents having some needs, and pronto, baby, y'all were there. Our police department today assisted the sheriff department with some lunatic in a bus. My phone started ringing about 6:30 in the morning because it happened across the street from my house. But if chief was here, I'd tell him good job too. And that's it, basically. I really don't have any comments. I did enough talking tonight. Thank you.
Good job. Okay, I have a couple of things to discuss tonight. We have a Covington Business Resource Workshop. I know the council got a copy of this. There's also some in the front over there on the table, so take one. This is the 9th one that I've been involved in since 2011. And this is just a workshop. It's free and open to the public. It will be at the Bogafly Hall. And it's going to be entitled Covington Balance for Your Success. And basically, it's an opportunity for business owners, their sales staff, anybody in sales and marketing can attend this and really get some good information. And who we're going to have this year, Mayor Mark will have a few comments at the very beginning, and then we're going to have St. Tammany Corporation that's going to come in and talk about the status of the environment, the business environment in the parish. And also we're going to have Southeastern University, their Business Development Center is going to be there talking about a few things that are helpful to any business owner. Also, we have a Human Resources Director coming in. We have a social media and marketing firm coming in. Also, the CBA will also be there, and a business attorney. So this is really for anyone that's a business owner, has a sales team, marketing team that just wants to go ahead and get some resources for them. And again, it is free and open to the public. Thursday, March 9th Bogaflaya Hall, 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. You can go to the CovingtonCovLA.com, our website, and you can register there. Really, the registration is really coming from the SLU University, their Business Development Center. They actually taken in the registration, but we'll also have the information on our Covington website. So that being said, hope to see you there. Again, it's free. It's a free workshop, so we appreciate SLU being involved in that. Next, obviously the Mardi Gras season, I know we were talking about that a little bit, starting this weekend on the 11th, Saturday night, the Crew of Olympia in downtown Covington. My understanding, they have around 21 floats. Cody, do you know any different than that? I think it's 21, right? 22? It's grown since last year.
Floats are like double and triple, like each lieutenant, so I don't know.
Okay, so it's going to be a big parade this Saturday night, so come out for that, get your family and friends to visit Covington. Also, the restaurants will be hustling and bustling, I'm sure. Also, and then don't forget about Mardi Gras Day, February 21st. We have the Lions Club Parade, followed by the Crew of Covington, followed by the Carnival in Covington Parade. I know the Carnival in Covington Parade will have 18 floats, 480 members, and then join the festivities right after the parade at the trailhead. It's called Tammany Gras, music, food, fun. I think we have like 5 food trucks that are going to be out there. So I know we're just hoping for good weather so the citizens can enjoy it. The whole North Shore, people come from the South Shore now. So we are just really thrilled to put on this Mardi Gras festivities for the city of Covington. So that being said, I'm going to turn it over. Yes. Tammany Gras. Yes, thank you. Kurt, what is it, Kitchen?
Tyler Kitchen.
Yeah, okay. I didn't have that in front of me.
And Larry, one last thing on that too.
Yes.
Isn't it Olympia has the original route, but the Carnival Mardi Gras Days?
Yeah, I don't know if the mayor was going to go through the route
Is in your
on Mardi
newsletter, I
Gras Day
believe?
change.
E-blast? Yeah.
In the upcoming e-blast, I'll be going into that. We're almost a victim of our own success, or on Councilman Rowling with Carnival in Covington, because that parade has grown to 480 riders, is that what it is?
Yes.
18 floats, and that has grown. The Lions Club have grown their parade, and then we immediately follow that with Tammany Gras. So our Mardi Gras celebration, our event has just grown tremendously in the last couple of years, and the police officers actually have a responsibility to be in Folsom and Madisonville and other places that afternoon. So in order to be able to fit all 3 parades in, when it comes down 23rd Avenue, instead of coming back down Boston Street, it's going to take a left at Jefferson. If we can have a successful run this year efficiently, we can reassess that route again next year. It's not set in stone, but last year we had some hiccups that both fire and police considered a hazard to the community. So when we start having gridlock like that, that's a concern. That's a problem. So, what's that? You like the new route? Yeah. I can share some business owners that would disagree. And they have my personal cell phone number. So we also should mention that the Sunday after Mardi Gras is Mardi Paws, which that has grown into all of our events across the board, with the Celtic Club, Covington Celtic Club, they've all just gotten larger and larger. And it's just the fact that Covington is one of the coolest cities in the Northern Hemisphere. So. And then on March 16th, we have our annual 4 Unplugged concert celebrating St. Patrick's Day. That's on a Thursday night at the trailhead, sort of a rockin' the rails kind of feel to it. So I think that covers most of our events coming up. The only other comment that I have is that it's with some sadness and sorrow that I mentioned the passing of one of the city of Covington's residents and one of the great citizens of our community for many, many decades, Miss Frances Barker, originally from Barker's Corner, but most recently here in Covington. Miss Frances touched many people and families through her nearly 2 decades of work with the American Red Cross and United Way. She was actively involved with the St. Tammany Parish Farm Bureau, St. Tammany Parish Fair, and the Louisiana Association of Fairs and Festivals, having served as the president of each organization. To know Miss Frances was to love her, She was a one-of-a-kind, larger-than-life, and made an art out of conversation. She never met a stranger, was completely selfless, and possessed an unmatched ability to make everyone feel like they were the most special person in the world. So on behalf of the city of Covington, I'd like to offer my condolences to her family. So that's it.
Anything for the mayor? Okay, thank you, Mayor, appreciate it. Anything else from administration? Mr. Rodriguez? Okay, good. All righty, so before we conclude, let's go ahead and remind everyone, our next meeting is March 2023, here in the council chambers. That's March 7th, 2023, and at 6 p.m., and have a safe and happy Mardi Gras. Thank you.